Hi everyone, Thumper here. I've had a lot of questions about what is the group that I fly with, and a lot of people that are interested in, trying out, trying to become a part of this group. So today I wanted to cover what the group is and answer some of the questions. So the group that I fly with is called Allied Province Armed Forces, or APAF for short. We would call ourselves a Milsim Light DCS group. So Milsim meaning that we do like to treat our missions with some level of real world simulation, but light meaning that we don't have some of the stricter requirements that a lot of other groups out there might, such as, having to issue an entire report anytime your jet gets damaged or stuff like that. We are primarily English speaking from a few different nationalities, and we have kind of two different dedicated servers that we use for all of our operations. One of which is dedicated to being a training server for people to hone their skills and work with instructors to pass the skills needed. We do provide a syllabus, which is separated into core skills and mission skills. So, core skills are typically centered around just general aircraft control and system manipulation. Whereas mission skills is where you actually get to drop bombs on stuff, and that's where we get into the fun stuff. We don't require that you're able to do things completely as you would in real life. It's not anything you have to be perfect at, but it is something that we want you to demonstrate, a level of safety that you're not a risk to any other pilots flying on the server with you. And eventually, we want you to be good enough that we can consider you an asset to actually have on the battlefield with us. So just be aware of that moving forward. There is actually a training syllabus that we do go off of, but it's nothing that's too crazy. So this chart is here to explain the APAF cycle. So if you look at the flow of this chart, generally each part of this chart takes us a few months to get through. So currently, as of making this video, we are in the deployment stage of our chart here, of our flow. So this is the MilSim part of our group, really. This is where we're doing a very big mission on the Persian Gulf currently, trying to treat it with as much realism as possible. Once this is done, we move down to our intake, and this is where we bring in new recruits and we start trying to get them trained up for moving into those other stages in the future. After we do an intake, we'll probably do another workup. A workup is basically just a kind of smaller version of a deployment. Same idea. We treat it with a lot of realism, but it's kind of lower stakes than the actual deployment. Then we do an intake, and so on and so forth. We just keep going around this cycle over and over and over. So be aware that if you are just joining into APAF, you will be put into a server that's not actually in APAF. It's where we do our intakes when we have them. So just because you click the link and join the Discord doesn't mean that you're in APAF automatically. Once we start doing intakes, we would make a big announcement about it, and we could get you in for a FAM flight, which is a familiarization flight, in which we would introduce ourselves and more than likely bring you into the group and onboard you. So if APAF seems like something that you would be interested in, go ahead and click the link down in the description and you will be brought to the staging server. When we have our next intake, we will make a big announcement on the server, and hopefully we will be able to bring you in as part of APAF and you can join our wonderful group of misfits. I hope to see you there in the future.